What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Get 'em Podcast, where we talk about all the things that excite us, piss us off, and all the above in the gaming industry. I'm your host, Nick, with my co-host here, Stuart. How we doing today, Stu?
Good, man. Had an interesting day today. So, just real small, quick story. I was doing schoolwork, as I do,
Mhm.
and I was headed home, and I was on my motorcycle because it was like 57-ish. Like, it was pretty warm outside,
It's still kind of
and
cold.
kind of weird.
Yeah.
Well, okay, to be fair, though, I'm Pennsylvania. I was from Pennsylvania. I was used to, like, 30s at this
Yeah.
point in
Okay.
time
Yeah.
in
Well,
end
yeah.
of November. Now it's
It's 30s
57.
here, so.
Alright, so it's 57-ish, so almost twice what you have, and, I was excited. I'm like, "Hey, I'm gonna take my bike out today, have some fun." Fun was had.
Ooh.
But on my way home, I was ripping, like, totally doing the speed limit, 100%, would never speed, doing the speed limit. But I had my phone in my pocket, and you know how, like, all the new iPhones and stuff have, like, the emergency services will get
Yes.
called or whatever?
Yes.
Well, while my phone was in my pocket, emergency services were called.
Holy crap! Really?
Yeah, so I don't know, nothing really happened. I had my mom call me, my best friend Mike text me, he's like, "Dude, are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, what? What are you talking about?" He's like, "I just got a text, yada, 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 saying help." And I was like, "Oh, no, I'm good. I was totally fine. I don't know what happened."
Oh, I guess it
But
sends it to your emergency contacts then.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So
I
they
need.
reached out to me, and I was like, "Oh, crap. Am I gonna come get arrested? Like, what's happening?"
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it calls actual emergency services or if it calls just your family, the people that you put as emergency contacts.
I'm low key kind of like, I'm 90% positive it called somebody. Yeah, it
Yeah.
called 911 on my phone.
Maybe they heard it
Um,
was a butt dialer. Well, that'd be weird because if even that, they normally come and check.
right.
So,
But, like, I was on my motorcycle when I was driving.
yeah. Well,
That
you
was and I had headset like, I had a headset in, so there was the microphone, so they might have
okay?
heard
So,
me
yeah.
from
But
the wind.
still, yeah. I mean, you might know when you're sleeping the night and you hear, "Open up, motherfucker!"
I mean,
So,
honestly, that was, what, like, 4 hours ago, so I'm
yeah.
guessing at this point I would've heard something, but
Yeah, that's true. Um,
still.
yeah, I think you'll be all right. But moving on to other things. Friday, November 22nd, patch 1.09 went live for Call of Duty on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. PS4 reaching 12.9 gigabytes, Xbox One 15 gigabytes, and PC getting 20 gigabytes worth of goodness from the devs over at Modern Warfare. Um, they fixed a lot of things. They also didn't fix certain things that I was hoping that they would fix. Most of the changes were to the kill feed and footsteps and special operations and whatnot. But one key thing, I think we'll go ahead and knock this out right now, that they did not fix, which was very important, was the angles that people are able to see people from certain places that they shouldn't, like in gunfight. When you're peeking around a corner and you just get destroyed, and then you see the kill cam, you're like, that dude saw me forever, and I never saw him once. So it's a little upsetting that they didn't fix something that's so crucial to the game. Something that you would think, oh, this has to be done because, I mean, it's game breaking in a
Right.
sense. I don't know. Did you ever have any kind of problems like that?
Oh, all the time, my friend. All the time, to the point where, like, and it's hard, right? Because that's technically more realistic to a degree,
Yeah,
but this is Call of Duty. This isn't an Escape from Tarkov where realism is the name of the game. Um, at the end of the day, this is still an arcade shoot, right? I mean, stuff you can
exactly.
do. You need balance, and speaking of balance, 725. What's up with that? How much would that be a nerf?
I know, dude. They said, yeah, man, we did the nerf to it. The gun's different now, and it's still pretty overpowered. Though I will say, the range is a little taken away from the gun now, so you don't really get cross mapped. It's still
Now it just takes 2 shots instead of 1.
it does take
Ooh,
2 shots, and most of the time you can get the second shot in before an
right.
M4 or anything can kill you. Maybe not so much the MP7. MP7 does smack pretty hard. I don't know if you've
It's
used it
a
yet.
solid gun. I really enjoy it.
So, but just to go over basically what's new, which I haven't played too much of the special operations, but they added Harbinger and Brimstone to the mix. Classic special operations door kick and a 3-star rating systems and reward. The 3-star rating system is based on time completed. Which like I said, I haven't really played much of the special operations, so I haven't played any, to be honest. I just play mainly the multiplayer. I haven't even touched the campaign yet, which I still need to because I'm still stuck on literally having like 3 characters unlocked. And I'm like, I want these other characters now. They also added Realism Mosh Pit, which has Domination Hardpoint Headquarters and Kill Confirmed in it. And the long waited for, which I really was excited about, Gun Game. Gun Game was one of my favorite game modes back in the old CODs. I love that game. Did you ever play it at all?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, all the time. I love that game. I mean, that's we talked about a while ago about the whole it coming down to the player's skill with gunfight and
Mm-hmm.
how everyone has the same stuff, everything's balanced. Now it's like how good are you, right? That's the
Yeah.
feeling I get from gunfight.
I
They all
will.
start with the same weapon, but who can progress the fastest?
I am relatively a troll in gunfight and do the old humiliation, which
Oh my god.
knock somebody down to the gun that they were at before. For those of you that don't know, and that does, especially if you're if you're in game chat, dude, it pisses
Yeah.
people off to no end. Like I could kill you with my gun, but I would rather piss you off at this point. So, but that's nonetheless. They also fixed actually a lot of other things. We'll start off with the thing that I was the most excited about, which was the footsteps.
Mhm.
Have you played it since the new update yet, Stu?
I haven't even updated it, so no.
Wow, that's not good. well, well, the new footstep model is to basically, if you were playing the game before, footsteps sounded whether they were far away, if they were close, it just sounded really muffled and just kind of not accurate to where exactly the person was playing
Right.
before, or where he's running around or sliding or whatever he was doing. They supposedly fixed it. I played a couple games with it. I actually got used to the sound that was not very good. So now that they reworked the footprints and everything, I'm like, dude, I have no idea where this guy is coming from now. So I think you'll get used to it once you play the game a little bit more. The only time that footsteps really matter is basically in gunfight, search and destroy.
Right.
I mean, yeah, domination, hardpoint, things like that, but it's not as pivotal as
I
a gunfight kind of deal.
I'm gonna counter you there and say it's absolutely not necessary in those team deathmatch, domination game modes because everyone just sits in a corner and doesn't move, so you don't hear footsteps ever.
Well, that's true. Dude, it is bad. I mean, that's why I play search and that's why I play gunfight because you literally have to
Mm,
go out and find people. But in the other game modes, especially ground war is terrible for that. People
yeah,
just hide in corners like Battlefield. Like it's basically Battlefield, right, on Call of Duty. But people in Battlefield would run around and actually kill people and not hide in corners. But for some reason, I don't know if it's the community of COD or if it's just, the way that the game's set up, in a sense, the way that the maps are set up, that people like to just kind of hide in corners, which is absolutely obnoxious. But it does come with just the game. And honestly, everybody knows that Call of Duties are big semi camping. I mean, I feel like camping pretty much came from the Call of Duty, the Call of Duty game. So,
yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where like with Battlefield, it's a lot more tactical play. I would argue than Call of Duty ever has been and ever will be.
there's a lot more
You
objective play.
Yeah, true. But like you have, a sniper is not necessarily. I mean, you definitely see it, but in Call of Duty, snipers always running in, or typically have run in and just run and gun.
Hmm.
You have those that sit, but in Battlefield, a sniper sits. If he's trying to run and gun, he really doesn't do well.
Yeah.
What really pissed me off one time when I was playing in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, I was on the map Euphrates Bridge.
Mhm.
Have you played that map? It's with the big yellow bridge across the entire middle.
I probably have. It's not
And if
really
you're playing domination, there's a flag right in the middle of the bridge.
okay. Oh,
And
okay. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So if you don't have that B bridge, you pretty much get spawn camped the entire time.
Yeah.
And it is atrocious. Not to mention if you're on the bridge, you can see into where people spawn in. Like it is horrendous. I got so annoyed
Yeah.
because there's just nothing you can do. Once they're like nested in, you can't leave. You're
No,
done.
you just get
And
you
then
can
people
get
on your
smoked.
team start leaving, so now it's even harder.
I never really understood the mentality of that. Like, if you're getting destroyed in a game and you have the same amount of players, I understand rage quitting, but I mean, at the same time, you could win. You know, you never know. Especially in like Rainbow. That oh my god, that shit pissed me off, dude. I hate it when people just left mid game. It's like, dude, even if we were down a couple rounds, we can still win. Like,
Yeah.
I don't get that.
I mean, that's the beauty of ranked, at least with Siege, because like you can technically abandon the match, but now you have to wait.
Yeah, you have the abandoned
There's
sanction.
kind of just a general understanding of let's just wait. I mean, you can surrender, sure, and people do that,
Hmm.
but casual just not fun.
I will say in COD that they actually made it more difficult to leave gunfight. I believe you actually have to either, I think you have to dashboard in order to leave the match. You can't just hit leave match in the actual game. At least I wasn't able to. It's just
Right.
it's got the grayed out and it's a lock symbol. But going on with some other patches that they did, I'll just read it straight from the website that they released the patch notes on. It says, fix for a bug where a player could spawn without a character model when spawning in on a friendly vehicle. So that would be more for the ground war aspect. Fixes for various exploits across maps and modes. Fix for an issue where copying opposing players' loadout was also copying their kill streaks. Fix for after action report not displaying newly acquired rewards. Fix for player rank icons not appearing on the scoreboard. Shorten the amount of time an execution animation plays. Now that's pretty big right there. Animations were very long. And especially when I was playing gunfight and stuff and we were trying to absolutely humiliate the other team and we'd be going into a gunfight. When I'm playing that game, dude, I am locked in. Like I am trying to get the kills. And then like Drew, for instance, he was executing somebody the other day and I just smoked his execution because I mean I was just locked in. But it takes really long. And you almost are guaranteed you don't really get any extra rewards for the execution. So
Outside of the one operator, though.
yeah, just for the one operator. But I mean, after that, it's pretty much pointless. That's why I don't really see them very often because you basically will die once you do them if you're in a fast-paced game, which Call of Duty is. So maybe them adding something to it would make executions more viable, like more people doing them. But I don't know what they could add because now they don't have score streaks; they have kill streaks. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't know exactly what they do, but maybe they'll figure out something like community events or something like that, like PUBG does. So I don't know.
I mean, they could take a note out of For Honor's book. Not that that's a great notebook to take notes out of, but For Honor, one of the things you can do when you're executing someone is you can buy different execution, kind of like customize it to your own.
Oh, okay, that'd
Maybe
be
if they
cool.
did something like that, there'd be some incentive to use executions. But right now, I mean, the only time you're going to use execute, you're memeing on someone and just
Yeah.
having fun. And it's like the last person, right? So it's the last person in Search and Destroy. It's the last person in Gunfight. You guys have stuns and flashbangs. Throw them, and then get the execution off. Just say, hey, look how much better I am than you.
Yeah, basically. I mean, they could take a note from the Apex place or the Apex game when you could buy executions and stuff. Even though you bought those with was it Apex points that you had to buy those with, or could you unlock those? I'm not
So
sure.
the ways those worked is you basically can get the Apex packs that you can use real money on.
Oh,
You
that's
have to
right.
use
Yeah.
real money on.
Yeah.
Or the other way you could get them is if you use the crafting materials that you actually get from the Apex packs. So
Yeah, exactly.
you either get them for the Battle Pass or the Apex packs. So
which Call of Duty Modern Warfare, they're trying to go on a less spend a ton of money on this game model right now, I believe. They released a couple. Well, they released a new map, Shoot House, for free. And I don't know. I feel like they're gonna have a season pass coming out soon. I believe. This update was a little weird because it was, like I said, 12, 15, and 20 gigabyte updates for consoles and PC, and that's a lot of stuff for the little amount that they did. I mean, it was a hefty update, but there's a lot of stuff they threw in there. But 15 gigabytes worth, coming from the Xbox world, it doesn't feel like it. I feel like they have some sleeper files in there, something else that they're about to release. Try to break it up a little bit, maybe. But moving on. They added the option to always sprint now, which is kind of weird. I heard that you can do that in Fortnite. You can turn that option on where you constantly sprint. In a Call of Duty game, I don't think that would be the greatest thing to do, but because I'm a very run around, crouch, slide kind of person, so I don't think that the always sprint option would be the greatest in the world. Moving on, though, footsteps, they adjust like we talked about before. They adjust the volume and sound type played for crouch walking and walking while aiming down sights. Dead silence, they fixed the dead silence field upgrade not lasting the correct amount of time when CDL rules are enabled, which would be in a private match. Those are for competitive play. They fixed nameplates being visible in a certain location on Piccadilly. I believe that's how you say that map's name. Updates to the kill feed, where they removed the avenged and saved player play of the game owner, and player ranks increases. So basically, they just removed avenged and save player, which I don't know. Who cares, really? You know what I mean? That's not really a big deal. I kind of liked it. I kind of liked having that there, but whatever. They also had another fix for players being able to join a match even though they've been blocked. So I guess if they were blocked from a match for some reason, maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe more of a private. Those are probably for private matches. If they're blocked from a certain player in the game, that they can no longer join them anymore. This is 4 specifically private matches here. They added the option to disable the spawn camera. Fix for a bug where starting flags captured. Private match options was not functioning as intended. Fix for the bomb screen appearing blank when defusing or planting the bomb in search and destroy with realism enabled. Added bomb carrier indication. Real quick before we go on with the other fixes that they had, what's your opinion on realism, on the game mode realism? Have you played it?
I have. I actually really like it. So I did the campaign on realism, loved it. I mean, it looked beautiful, played well. The bullets, not being able to see it, it just felt real, obviously. I really like realism. It kind of adds another element. Now, you also see a little more camping, I think, in realism.
Yeah.
But like, if you know what you're looking for, it's way easier to kill people too. Few bullets to the head, and on the gun one.
That's true. The night mode realism is a little weird.
That's sweet, dude. I love the idea of that.
It is sweet, but you can't aim down the sight, which is you can't aim down red dots and hollows, which is weird. I don't know if I agree with that. You get the little laser on the side that you have to, and the iron sights that you have to point through. I don't agree with that.
What didn't you agree with?
I just don't like that. I want to look down my hollow. I just don't like realism in general. I don't like it. I don't feel as competitive in the realism mode as I do in core mode. So I don't know. But moving on here, they worked on a couple kill streak fixes. They fixed an issue where selected kill streaks would revert to previous selection mid-match, which for those of you that don't know, some of the kill streaks, while you changed them last match, now you're in this new match, it would revert back to the old kill streaks that you selected before, which is relatively annoying. Also, other players were having problems where it would actually give you a kill streak that you did not have selected, which is kind of weird. It fixed where players using the shield turret kill streak could see through smoke at certain angles with the side panels of the turret, so that they can no longer see through the smoke at all. Smoke completely blinds them if it's thrown in the right area. Dead silence fixed for dead silence upgrade not lasting the amount of... Okay, we already said that. I don't know why they put that in there again. Thermal scopes are now able to see through smoke grenades. Oh, that's interesting. I thought that they always could. I just don't ever use thermal smoke. I don't ever use thermal
I
scopes
don't
at
feel
all.
like most people use them.
Yeah, actually Reese does, and it's really weird to see him use thermal scope whenever he's quick scoping, but he does. I don't know. Edit the option, disable the spawn camera, fix an issue where the mount interaction prompt was displaying when planting or defusing the bomb in search and destroy, which didn't get too annoying for me. I mean, it's there, but unless you fat finger the freaking mount, there's really no reason that had to be fixed. But whatever. This is the biggest fix for this update, I would say. They fixed the camera getting stuck on the death location when transitioning to spectate. For those of you that don't know and maybe didn't play Search as much, this is huge because when you would die, you would literally spectate your dead body. So in this amount of time that you're able to spectate your dead body, which normally could last for 10 to 30 seconds, you literally could see wherever you were all around, and you could call out different players where they are. Which is very unfair for the opposing team because normally as soon as you die within a couple seconds, it switches to a live player on your team. So did you ever have that issue in Search and Destroy, or have you played Search and Destroy much?
I haven't, but it's the same issue in Gunfight, where before a patch that happened, I don't know, a month ago, maybe a little after that.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing you said, you would die and you'd spectate your body and you just see the map for a while, and then it would finally switch over. But like those seconds are so vital.
Yeah.
And like it was so helpful. Like I was playing with my brother, for instance, and I would get killed, and I'd be like, "Oh, hey, he's literally to your left, 12 o'clock or whatever." Just giving him an exact call out that I wouldn't have been able to give before because I watched this dude for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And it got us so many wins, and I absolutely hated that fact. I hated that it was just such a broken system. It's kind of like the red names about people. That's so dumb. I've got killed so many times and killed so many people because I saw a name.
Yeah, and I don't believe that they did much with the name tags in this update, which is sad. Like we've already said, the two biggest things is probably the names above people's heads in Gunfight, and then also the angles in Gunfight. I don't feel like they did much to the Gunfight game mode for some reason in this update, which is pretty critical, especially when it seems like it's going to be a very competitive and maybe esport ready type game mode. But also in the one life mode, such as Search and Destroy, they had a fix for the weapon not animating when sprinting at the beginning of the round, which really, who cares? Infantry assault vehicles reduce damage radius and lethality of the turret. So that is in the tank that you get when, I believe it's a Wilson. You get the Wilson. And then also, I don't know if that's for Ground War as well, but one could only hope, honestly. Because when people get in the tanks in Ground War, it's absolutely sad, and it destroys Ground War, basically. Yep. They had progression challenges and mission fixes, which they cleaned up and updated descriptions for various challenges. I guess they were very confusing for some, but I'd never even looked at them really. Officer challenge, heads up, destroy vehicles with launchers, doing work, aggression, expert gunsmith, and one trick pony. Lethal / tacticals. They have a fix for decoy grenades showing a red blinking light for both allies and enemies. That could actually get pretty bad because you would know right away that is a decoy on the ground if you're on the enemy team. Which most of the time you can determine what an enemy decoy is. Let's see what else they have here. They slightly brightened the player outline when using the snapshot grenade, which I never used snapshot grenades. I've seen people use them, and I've seen them used in Search and Destroy. For those of you that don't know, it actually kind of acts as somewhat like a personal UAV. Well, when you throw it, it outlines the people that are around the radius of the snapshot grenade, which is actually pretty, game changing in certain areas if you use it correctly. So help those people out a little bit that do use that. For single player, there was a fix for a bug that could cause an error when selecting a mission. Like I said, I haven't played the single player yet. If I'm rambling on, Stuart, feel free to jump in at any time, buddy. I don't want you to feel like, I'm trying to take the spotlight right now.
Hey man, you shine bright.
I'm just trying to go through this huge list of crap that they did, which most of it is just whatever.
You're good.
For perks, Spotter perk was not making Spotter, the perk spotter, for those of you who don't know, the perk was not marking equipment, field upgrades, or kill streaks through walls in FFA, which is free for all. Fix for spotter perk, not marking UAVs, and slightly brightened outlines. Big on the brightening the outlines in this update here. So for those of you that don't know, spotter, basically, you can see claymores and different kill streaks and everything through the walls, so that you can avoid those things. They had another fix for the EOD. It's fixed for players losing HUD elements after attacking an enemy claymore in certain situations. Fix for the quick fix perk, not giving faster regeneration when earning kills with the throwing knife. So that's kind of basically the whole point of that perk. So that's pretty impressive that was not working very well. Fix for amped perk, not showing the riot shield as quickly as it should. Now we're moving on to weapons. Hopefully we have something in here about the shotgun, but I highly, highly doubt it. They have a fix.
I didn't see anything.
Yeah. They have a fix for rocket launcher camos not unlocking or tracking properly, which, if you use the rocket launcher in search, I despise you and you should quit the game, honestly, because that's obnoxious. They have a fix for the Model 860 camos not unlocking. FN Scar 17, which I'm excited about this. I would really like to see the FN, I'll just call it the Scar in this instance, to actually shine a little brighter than it does currently. Maybe take some places for the other guns that are out there. Maybe even get the AK to shine a little bit too. Slight increase in ADS time, reduction to barrel and bipod grip penalties. They have a fix for a white placeholder box appearing when leveling up a weapon and unlocking new attachments. Added descriptions to all optics that have scope glint. Is that how you say that word? GLINT? I'm not sure. Fixed an issue where the P90 FFS ring sight would create a scope glint. I'm just going to keep calling it glint until, I don't know.
Sounds right to me.
It sounds right to me. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know what glint is. Thermal scopes are now able to see through smoke grenades, which we've already covered again. Fix for charms not appearing where they should on various weapons. Do you have any charms unlocks too?
I have one. I want to say I think I have a pizza slice charm.
That's big time. That is big time.
It's pretty big time. I ain't gonna lie to you, bud.
I don't know if I have any charms unlocked, sadly. Actually, I think I might have one. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but charms are cool. I like the charms aspects, especially coming from Rainbow. I love those charms, dude. I had the Lucky Clover. That was the one I put on every gun, and it was it was my good luck charm, man. Leaderboard / combat records. They fixed a bug where selecting all would sometimes kick the player back to the menu. That's terrifying. Added CTF and hardpoint into combat records. Audio voice chat options. No effect default voice chat. No additional effects on EQ adjustments. Stealth comms, which some of these I didn't understand. I was reading these and I was like, I don't know what they're talking about. Bring the immersion of the campaign into multiplayer with SAS radio effects to voice chat. And then classic chatter, feeling nostalgic, coordinate with your team using classic Modern Warfare radio effects. Now, I'm not sure if these are effects that you can put to your voice if you are in game chat. Our game chat already sounds like you're talking through a tin can, so I'm not sure why I would want to destroy my voice even further in game chat. Right. Moving on to special operations. They added munition drops. After various objectives, a care package will drop to provide you with much needed munitions. Various exploit fixes. Fix for an issue where players could lose functionality after using the EMP drone in Operation Crosswind, which sounds like I'd be very pissed if that happened to me. Fix for crashes that occur when viewing the scoreboard from the match summary. That's perfect. That's great. Good job, COD. Survival fix for enemy spawning out of bounds on Piccadilly. That's insane. How do they not catch these things in beta test, alpha test, game testing, dude? I don't know.
Dude, honestly, great question. Couldn't tell you.
Exactly. You know, the Xbox One X crash I haven't had recently. So very interested on when they slipped that into one of the updates. They never even, actually they admitted that they had a problem, but it wasn't like super admitted that they had the problem. Like they just kind of said, yeah, we know we have the problem. We're just going to slide this in here and pretend like it never happened. I believe that these are PC patches here. New features, added an option to hide friend requests and party invitations. Added support for additional keyboard layouts on PS4. Stability, several fixes to prevent crashes and improve stability. General fixes, and this is actually getting close. Sorry about that. Close to the end of our rest of the fixes here. Fix an issue where the boot up sequence volume would be too loud. Please fix that on console. Why is that just a PC fix? Because when I go into console startup, my ears are screaming because they are being raped by this loud sound. Why would that only be for PC? Various key binding adjustments. Players are now able to back out of the gesture and spray wheel by clicking anywhere, which is nice. I don't know if you've ever been stuck in a gesture or in the spray wheel and then just get destroyed. It makes you look like a tool. More fixes to prevent hitching/stuttering during cutscenes. Fix an issue where the main menu music would not play when the users activated the skip introduction movie option. Fix for an error that could occur when attempting to manage a party. Multiple fixes for different aspect ratios on various menus/screen in the game. Fix for a bug where XP token shortcut key would also open the video highlight feature simultaneously. Great. Fix for a bug where some achievements would appear as completed even though they were. Wow. Holy. That's a lot of fixes for a game.
That is a lot of fixes.
15 gigabytes possibly, but I still think that they might have a couple sleeper files hidden in there for upcoming releases such as new maps and or a season's pass like has been talked about on Reddit. Did they hit the key notes in this one other than the footsteps? Not necessarily. What's your take on the whole update?
I think it's a great starting point. I still think they have ways to go. I mean, they still need to fix some weapons. There's other things they could do. But I think the footsteps are a huge step, no pun intended.
Damn.
And that's what I do.
Yes.
But I had something
Perfect
to note for you, actually. With the startup video, I don't know how console does it, but on PC, I can turn that off. Like, I turned that off. It was like years ago, so I don't have the loud.
It is terrible.
Whatever sound it is, I never have to deal with it anymore. It just goes into the main menu. It's just quiet.
I'll have to look at that. Yeah,
it's nice.
Yeah, because I turn music off on pretty much every game that I play, like multiplayer wise, because I cannot stand, especially like Rainbow, PUBG. I go back to the main menu. I have to listen to the same music every time, and I'm like, dude, I am going to end it if this does not stop. So I normally turn the music off on everything. If I could turn the music off on the startup of COD, that would be amazing. Do you have anything to add to this?
Let's see. Okay, here's a question for you. It's gonna be interesting. We've briefly discussed this before, but stun grenades. What are your thoughts? Are they needed?
Stun grenades and flashbangs are actually, even though they don't seem different, they are very different.
Sure.
Flashbangs are basically useless compared to stun grenades. Stun grenades are what most people use because not only does it cause them to get very disoriented, it does blind them for a second, as well as cause them to not be able to move at all. Now, I do feel like Call of Duty needs to do something about the stun grenades. I feel like the time that you are disoriented and unable to move quickly and react to what's happening to you in the world needs to be cut down just a couple, maybe a second or two, because it is for the player that gets hit with the stun grenade. It's very challenging to win a fight if you do get hit with that stun grenade and they push
not
you.
Impossible.
It is close to impossible unless the enemy jumps in literally to your sight and then you just destroy them. But 9 times out of 10, you're losing the fight because the stun grenades are overpowered. And nobody really runs the flashbangs. Also, I don't know what they call them in here. The bouncing betties is what they used to call them. They're terrible. I hate them. Get them out of the game. Use the claymores only. Why do we have to have bouncing betties too? Because that is obnoxious. You can't see them. You literally can. You can see claymores, but bouncing betties, dude, they're way too hard to spot on the ground. You don't know you hit it until you hear the beep, and then you know you're done. I mean, that's it.
Game over.
Exactly. At least with claymores, you could kind of like, kind of expect where people are going to put them, and then maybe see their red lights and save yourself. But with the bouncing betties, there is nothing that you can do other than run over them. Other than that, there's a lot.
Yeah, so I have a couple thoughts on stun grenades. I think there's a place for stun grenades, but not the current stun grenade. There's nothing that pisses me off more when it comes to these type of video games. That I get killed because of the game.
Yeah.
Right. If I don't have an ability to fight back, like how is that a balanced, fair system? If someone stuns me and I can't move at all, like I throw my mouse across the room in an attempt to move and I can't. How is that how does that work? I don't understand. Make it so like, hey, you can't ADS for a second or two, or just like with Sophia's or Ella's Grismont mines, right? How it's just like, oh, you're drunk, you can't see anything. Make it like that, but I can still move. I can still attempt to fight. It's just harder.
I can imagine on PC it's relatively hard, especially if you get with a stun, because with a mouse pad you don't really have that much room. On a controller you can literally just hold over on the stick and you'll keep turning. But on a mouse pad you literally have to keep bringing it back and trying to like move. That would be even harder for PC players, I believe, in order to actually get any kind of luck of a shot.
You said you lose 9 fights out of 10. For me, it's more like I don't win. I honestly think I've only ever won one engagement when I was fully stunned.
Yeah. What are your thoughts about stun grenades in gunfight in general?
If they're tweaked, great, use them, right? Like I have no issue. I think flashbangs are balanced. It flashes you. It does what it says. It works. Stuns are just, you lose. If you get stunned and they push you, you don't win that fight.
No.
It's just an unbalanced mechanic. If they tweak it and I can move, great, keep them. I have no issue with it.
Well, what about this? What if stun grenades, you throw them, but they take away the hit marker of the stun grenade? So now that player no longer knows if they hit somebody with a stun, and they don't know if they should rush in or not. Because no, go on.
I think you're only going to see an impact at low-level play, though, with that.
Yeah.
As a high-level player, and with the stun grenade, it doesn't matter. If you're not looking at it, you still get stunned, right? Flashbang, if you look away, you're usually fine.
Yeah, that is also true. Yeah, I didn't think about that. If you get hit with the stun, you're going to get hit no matter what.
So I think at higher level play, they know where you are. They can throw the stun grenades perfectly fine. They're going to know you're going to get hit. They're going to push you.
Yeah.
So you're only going to see at the low level players like, oh, maybe I'm be careful, cautious. And those few seconds are vital.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even with the flashbangs in Rainbow, they weren't. I mean, you get hit by them, you're hit, but they weren't, ground or game breaking where you literally can't do anything, because you could still, even when you got hit with Blitz, I mean, you could still win that fight.
Yeah.
If you got lucky, basically, but you could still win it. But with stun grenades, yeah, you're stuck. And it does piss me off a lot, dude. When you're trying to move just to stay, because he's coming, and you're trying to move and look at him.
Like, run!
There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, you're dead.
So, Will they have fixes to that and to the other things that we mentioned earlier? I believe over time they probably will, but it's something that's going to probably take them a while. Most of the time they don't fix anything until the next Call of Duty comes out. So it's like, I don't know. But I think that's basically wrapping up all of today's episode. That was a lot to talk about, really. I mean, a lot of stuff to be updated. We'll see what happens later on in the Call of Duty world. But as for now, unless you've got something to add, Stuart.
I do. Here at Get In Productions, we're working behind the scenes to make this podcast even better. I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to go out of my way right now. But stay tuned because we have some cool stuff coming.
Yeah, buddy. And as you guys know, as I've told you guys in previous podcasts, I will be on vacation for from the 28th of November until probably the 5th of December. So Stuart will be taking over on December 1st podcast and also December 4th podcast. I will be doing the one on the 27th with you, though.
Heck yeah.
To show everybody my love still right before Thanksgiving, baby. Big old turkey day.
Turkey day.
Yes. The day where you literally eat and then pass off. Are you off school on the, what is that, the 29th on a Friday?
Yes, I'll actually be with my family.
Oh, that's cool. It's a good time, man.
It is.
A lot of people I know, which is kind of weird, they're all getting off on Friday. So they get Thanksgiving and they also get that Friday off, which is not something that I thought normally happened, but I guess it does. But also that is Black Friday, big time to shop, get all your exclusive deals. I might actually be picking up a Nintendo Switch on this Black Friday and or Cyber Monday. Either that or some AirPods. So I'm leaning towards the AirPods a little more because Daddy needs a good set of headphones.
Sorry, audience. I don't think Nick's gonna be able to hear us anymore after he acquires those. Podcast between you and I, guys.
Exactly. All right. So, in order to not continue to ramble, we will be ending it there. We do appreciate you guys checking us out. And as always, check us out on Instagram and YouTube at Gaming is the Mission. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Doodles.